welcome to my channel. I am Himekimi Sakura. Today I will be showing everybody how to do a simple braid hairstyle on VRoid. Hopefully this will be simple enough to help everybody out when creating hairstyles for their character. The first step, of course, is you have to go to the hair editor tab on the top column. Next, as you can see, I already have hair on my character. So delete everything or hide it so you cannot see it and it will just not distract you from all the other work you'll be doing. Now, you add in a freehand group, a new group. So as you can see, there will be green dots all over the head and you will have to reshape it so that everything will look like it's grown from the head. You have to first make the sculpt of the head so that the braids don't come out of nowhere. So you have to drag all the green dots so that it fits perfectly with the shape of your head. This might take some time. Yep, that's about right. And while you're doing this, remember to check on all sides. It also is pretty convenient if you use the mirror function so that you don't have to do this one side at a time, since it might be uneven when you do that. Now, this looks good. So next you have to zoom in and check that from the head you can see this faint net of gray lines, because if you can't see that, that means when you draw, you will not be able to draw on those parts. And check everything. Okay, and then, oh, too bad. Well, okay. Is this it? Yep. Now let me shift to the side. Let's continue. So now you want to draw your scalp, which is the hair on your head. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to make the thickness of the scale bigger so that when you draw your hair strand, it will become wider. You start from the middle. I usually start where the line is in the center so that when we create the line or the hair, we can make it seem as if we have parted our hair in the middle and grab the hairs to the side. Now you also want to go in and fix the little details so that the hair strands don't look too awkward or leaves any gaps in between, because then it will look weird when you turn your character around. And again, please do use the mirror button to help you, since you don't want to create uneven or odd looking strands of your hair everywhere. Gets the job done for you pretty easily. And then remember to always look in the middle of the center where your part is and fix it so that it looks like your hair was parted intentionally from the middle. And we will do this to the whole lower half of the head to cover it completely. And as for the front, we will be leaving the front empty until the last steps, because all of that will become the space for your bangs, like mine right here that's flying. And of course we will have to change the bone for your hair too, in order for your hair to move like how mine is right now. Make it seem real. There's also an option under the camera and export tab to use the wind to test out if you had created your bones correctly and group or separate them so that not all of your hair will stick together and just be a flat blob flying around. You want the hair to move a little smoothly like this. Just don't do it too crazy because you will look really weird, especially if you go like this. Okay, that was not as bad as I expected, but like still, you should see, or you can play around with the wind later and see all the different type of directions your hair will fly in. Now fix the parts so that you have a line that it seems as if you used a brush and you went straight down from the middle, kind of like how you do it when you are trying to prepare to tie up some pigtails. I will also be doing some twin braids, so it's kind of like a pigtail too. Okay, now I'll do the last finishing touches. You should also look closer, zoom in, so you can see where the sharp ends of your hair strand goes, because sometimes it will come poking out from your ears, which makes it look kind of weird. Again. Okay, now change the name so that you won't get mixed up, since you'll be creating more of these free hand groups. And always remember to save, especially if you do this on a Mac. My computer crashed a few times from this program driving my computer crazy. Next, you'll have to prepare the outlines for your braids. You have to spread this out depending on how long you want it. I wanted my braids ending about where my lower hip was, so just have to drag it out. Remember to drag everything in a orderly sequence, or else you will get these weird curves and bumps that will make your hair strand look even more crazy. But of course, if you do mess up, there's always on the top left hand corner the edit button, which allows you to undo your previous actions. Okay, so what you are going to do now is to select the pencil, check your settings for the thickness, make it so that you don't have to create too many strands. We only need 2 big strands up here. You can also just type in the number, as the slide for it might take a while. Next, you will adjust the angle and draw your first stroke. And as you can see, we have a huge gap in between the actual hair and our scalp. So what we have to do is to go back to the cursor, shift it, the green dots in all directions so that it is closer to the scalp, since all the drawings we make will be outlined by the green dots. Check all the angles, and then you can draw your second strand, and that is the first braid done on both sides. Now you can check in all directions. You can also set the thickness and the width so that it's more puffy. Make it seem like you have more hair than you actually do. Okay. Now, same as always, continue on by using the mirror button. Makes the job easier and more symmetrical on both sides. Well, just be careful when you do the braids. Remember to also adjust it manually so that the braid or the strand of hair looks more smoother than it actually is. Since sometimes if you do the outline wrong, the braid or the strand of the hair will be really crooked, and you do not want that. And that's 2 braids. Now on to the third. I probably made around 3 of these. You should adjust it so that you don't see the middle gap, or it will look weird. You don't really see any braids with people that have a huge gap in between them, because that most likely means you did not tie the braid tight enough for it to maintain its shape. You can also use this technique or trick with your other strands of hair. You can also play with the thickness to make small little braids as decorations for your other hairstyles. For example, when you do a bun or when you do bangs. And adjust it, and then you can check it out from the front. You can also make each braid size even bigger by cloning the braid individually and then adjusting them manually, and you will get thicker braids. But we will do it the simple way today so that it won't get too confusing, because as you can see, if you do too much at once, you will get so confused with what you have, like my hair right now. Okay. Okay, the last few steps. So we are going to take our brush again, make another free group, and since we did the braid, we will do the end of the braid, which the little extra hairs that are not braided, the tails. So just add a little piece of hair like that. Actually, we might delete that later, but let's leave it for now. Adjust the width. Yeah, I think that might be a little better in another separate group, but let's do, we're gonna use this other group. Gonna move the green dots down again, one by one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a scrunchie, or you can say a little hair tie for the end, and then we will also redo the end of the braid because the one we did a few seconds ago might be a little bit too short. So what you're gonna do is move all the green dots down until you reach the end of the braid, and then you have to make sure that the gray net is still covering the two ends, or else when you draw them you will see that the scrunchie or the new hair strand that you just made is not going to attach to the end. I'm gonna change this to a white color so you can differentiate my scrunchie from my pink hair. Okay, so same as before, use the mirror effect. Just draw like a little tiny line and then use the cursor to move and maneuver the green dots so that your scrunchie is actually touching your braids, or else it will just look weird with two little dots in the middle of nowhere between your hair and your torso. You can also change the shape of the scrunchie to make it seem like a little bow or any other shape you would like your hair tie to be in. You can also go to the texture and draw any additional, yeah, you see this? Because of the way the net was formed, if I drew it in a certain angle, the hair would just fly. So, yeah, so you can go to the hair texture and you can draw like dots, polka dots for your scrunchie if you would like. For this demonstration, I'll just do it with the white. And then do the adjust it so that it will not be too large. Or if you actually do a bow for your hair tie, you can make it larger so that you can see it more from the front. I would just only do it this small if you would want it to be a normal scrunchy looking thing. And then, as we said before, we will delete these two dots and remake the ends of our braids. And of course, remember to change your group names so that you won't mess up which group with which one, because there will be so many when you're doing your hairs in different parts. So we're gonna adjust the thickness and the width, and we're going to redraw our ends. You can make it longer if you would like, but this will be enough. And then make sure to connect it to your little hair tie scrunchie so that it will not be a floating piece of hair. What you can also do is make extra pieces of hair on the top of your braids if you would like. However, I would not recommend doing this if you are using a MacBook, as I am, because it is hard to draw using the mouse on the computer unless you have a Bluetooth wireless mouse, or you can do this on an iPad and then transfer it. So we will just add these strands of little hairs to make it seem more real, as I am doing this just by eyeballing. And then, as always, remember to look at your VRoid from all angles to make sure that all your strands are actually connected to where you want it to be connected to, or you will have random strands of hair flying. But if you would like to skip this step, you can if you want to keep things simpler. I am not an artist myself, so I am just doing what looks the most okay-ish. This is only my second time doing this braid hairstyle, but I wanted to share it in case anyone else would like to do this on their character, as I also had some trouble with doing hairstyles. So now what you're gonna do now is, after you completed your hair braid scrunchy hair tie, you will go to the bone tab and you are going to make a group of bone with one whole braid. So you're gonna make a bone structure for each side, and remember to select the ones all on the same side, since all the checks you click will be highlighted in yellow. And that's about it. You will only have to do this once, since the other side will just be whatever is left over. Create bone grip, and then you're going to adjust the bone count and fix the point. The bone count will affect how your hair will be moving. The more bones, the more wild your hair will be fine. And the fixed point is like where your hair starts to move. So I wanted to start moving after my first braid, and then you can go to camera exporter to the wind section and then play around with it and see the movement of your braid and adjust as you go. Or you can use the poses and see how your braids or your other hair types are moving. And then you can go back to hair edit and to the bone tab and edit if you would like it to move more crazy or if you want it to be more down to earth and not flopping everywhere. And I will just do the bangs really quickly to to complete the look. As usual, create a new group and then use the mirror, make the strands, adjust it, and then so that all the hair lines up and you go with the hair parting look in the back. And then you have to adjust the green dots again, especially if you want to make your hair look more wavy or more attached to your scalp. You would have to adjust these frequently. And then if you accidentally put it in the wrong group, as sometimes it can jump to another freehanded group that you did before, you would just have to go back and delete it, or you can use the edit button and undo your previous two actions. Now let's draw the seconds. And then you can just continue this all the way in the middle, or unless you want a specific type of part in your bangs, you can just continue using the mirror button. But if you would like a specific part, you are better off doing it strand by strand. And then, as always, make sure all the ends of your strand connect to the middle, and so that we will get a more symmetrical look in the hair. You see, the back is all neat and the front is good. Now you can also add side slashes to make extra strands of thinner hair. Now make the rest of your bangs and adjust them as you go, making sure every strand is in the right place. And of course, you can puff up your bangs if they stick too close to your forehead. Make it so that it's more circular and in the front. And add any extra single strands if you would like. and as always, adjust. You can always adjust your straight strands into wavier ones, curvier ones. You can even adjust it so that instead you can get a different parted look with your bangs. I usually go for the part that is slightly towards the left. But since I'm doing this these bangs, just eyeballing, I'm not too concerned with it. And then you can make your lines thinner and add extra strands of hair to your bangs. But of course, adjust it so that everything looks and fits in place. I also use these thinner strands to make a small X on the top of the opening of my bangs. But I'm not going to do that for this demonstration. And of course, you can also use the hair to add in some other kinds of accessories, maybe like hair clips or bows, as I said before, or make a scrunchie. There's many other types of hairstyles that you can do. I have only tried making straight hair like what I have right now, and I have tried making bangs. That's it. But the other hairstyles probably will not be too challenging, I'm guessing. But of course, if I do make a video and it proves to be challenging, I will go hide under my blanket. Yep. And of course, you have to add the bones to your bangs too. And don't click or check everything, because you don't want all the bangs to be moving in the same direction at the same time, making it look like a piece of like hair just stuck together, like you accidentally put too much hair gel on your bangs. That will not look nice. And of course, adjust everything else. Oh, and right, you can also make animal ears like my cat ears I have right now on me with hair. It might be a little hard, but if you would like me to show you how, I'll be glad to in another video. So comment down below if you would like me to show you how to make ears with hair. Let's see, let me showcase my ears. Little ears. Yep. Let's go back. Okay, now the test as always. test the way your hair flows, the way your bangs goes. Don't make it too crazy. Blow it in left, right, back and forth, different directions, test out everything, and oh shoot, yeah, adjust that. You don't want your bangs to fly and be stuck in a position like that. This looks better than before. But it would be better if the side bangs don't move as much. So let's go back and go to the you can also reset it so it doesn't look too crazy, or you can just jump to the pose and animations to do it there. But yeah, this is basically how you make braids in VRoid. And ta-da! This will be your final results. You can change your background of the VRoid in the camera and export section, and you can use any image you want. And since I was wearing a uniform, I decided to take the picture in the classroom, looking like a really good student. I will go change now and let you see the braids in the dress I am currently in. Wait one moment. And I am back from changing. Ta-da! Look, my braids are a bit thicker than the ones I have shown in the demonstration. Let me give you a close-up view of me. I made my braids a little bit thicker by doubling up the braid strands. So instead of just making one, I made two strands for each braid. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And if you have any more questions, for example, how I made my dress, my clothes, or my ears, or if you have any other type of hairstyle you would like to see me make, please comment in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.